Go.
Connecting. And connecting. There. Connecting. And connect. Ooh. Wow, that was fast. Twitch started right away. Wow.
Dude, Twitch has been on it lately.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It was giving me a little issues past week. Especially streaming Forza Horizon 2. Like everything was just... Or Forza Horizon 4. Everything was like super lagging out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, it did that to me today. I had to fix it.
There's one song in Forza Horizon 4 that if you play it in the game, you will immediately have your video blocked worldwide.
Wow, I'm glad they planned that really well.
So
unless you're on Mixer, bro.
Well, I mean, Mixer and Twitch, you know, won't do it, but if you're on YouTube and you stream that, it's blocked worldwide. So I had to like I had to download the video and then mute that like 1 minute the song was on and then re-upload it.
Yep, it sounds about right.
That was funny.
So you're a better man than I. If it gets blocked on YouTube, I'm just like, fuck you guys. I don't care. Come watch it live next time, nerds.
Yeah, I suppose. But
I live that life.
We've gained like 20 subscribers in the last couple weeks on YouTube alone.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Like,
there we go. Periscope finally connected. Piece of shit.
Thanks.
Periscope is so slow.
It's slow to connect, that's for sure.
It's so slow. Whoa.
Works.
It does. It does.
Work.
I've been playing a bit of Fortnite lately. I can't seem to get my Turtle Beach headphone microphone to actually like input into the game.
Huh.
I can hear my voice through my headphones, but there's nothing going into the game itself.
Oh,
so weird.
Strange. You got to call Epic and fight them personally.
Never get better than Orange Stream Health. Very strange.
Yeah, again, YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
Somehow the leading platform.
Pack of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood on my PS4.
Ooh, I heard it was, maybe your experience may differ. I heard it was like bad ports.
Yeah, right? I read the same thing.
How do you feel about it?
Played it yet. I've been too busy with Arkham Knight.
Okay. Yeah, I want to, because like it's weird when like some people, like I'm not as picky. People be like, this port is trash. It is so disgraceful to the original. I'm like, it's fine. Fuck off. Like people are bitching that they use the PSP translation of Symphony of the Night, so there's no what is a man but a miserable pile of secrets. Everyone was like, this is unplayable now. I'm like, you're a fucking cunt. It's fine. So I don't have my memes.
I mean, I've played some bad ports before.
Yeah, but like if it's justifiably bad, but like, oh no,
the Secret of Mana port was pretty bad.
Well, that was like a whole remake.
Oh yeah,
that's a different thing.
It wasn't a remake though. It was like it was a port that they changed a lot of things and they weren't better.
You talking about one for PS4?
Yeah.
That's a remake, dude. There's polygons. That's not a remaster.
I didn't say it was a remaster. I said it was a port.
It's not a port.
It felt like a port.
Well, if it was a port, it would have been good.
Yeah.
I found out, unfortunately, from a YouTuber that the port of World Ends With You on the Switch is really just a glorified version of the mobile version.
Yeah,
so,
I heard that, and I got really sad.
Wait, it's the mobile version? It's not the the DS version?
Yep.
Oh, that's gross.
Just with a couple of extra bells and whistles, but
just like Final Fantasy 15 on Switch when it's the mobile version.
That's gross.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dumb. But
so I guess I'll still be looking after that DS version. I don't give a fuck.
Do it, man. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I had a friend like find that game for me.
Ooh.
That friend was me.
No, I don't like to mention names.
Okay, good. I don't want to name drop.
I don't want to name drop anyone.
Some fellow famous podcaster. I don't want to throw it out there.
Sounds like an asshole.
Probably some Canadian.
Look at you, the prick.
I'm gonna play my Switch version anyway once I get one, because I want to see that extra story bit.
Let me know what you think of it before I go and buy it. And I should get that version or if it's like, you could deal with the Switch version. Because remember, I've played neither. So like, will I be like? You'll probably be like, oh, this isn't the same. Well, I'll probably be like, it's fine, you fucks.
Kevin, do you still have a PSP?
Of course I do. I'm playing Twisted Metal on it.
Like Twisted Metal Head-On or what?
No, Twisted Metal, the first one, which, by the way, that's real hard without double shoulder buttons.
Ooh, that, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know why they thought PS1 games on a PSP was a good idea, because they're not.
Yeah, I mean, some of them that they released on there, you can map the controls. Some of them. You
can't. Well, there's a setting in Twisted Metal. It's like Control Freak, and you can like use up and down on the D-pad to accelerate and gas, and like kind of make it work. It's okay.
Yeah, you gotta fiddle. Yeah, you gotta fiddle with a few.
You do, but that game's hard as fuck.
Well, yeah, the first Twisted Metal in particular hasn't aged well.
No, but I'm determined to beat it at least once with. So I'm gonna do that.
Alrighty, shall we get this thing started?
I guess whatever.
Shall we talk the spooky stuff?
Yes. Late periods.
Should I title this episode officially Spooky Horror Games?
Right. I guess. I mean, we already had like bad horror games in the past.
Well, no, it was like unknown horror games.
Bad horror games, right?
Yeah, possibly bad.
Bad.
Hey, we got a good thing out of that episode. I got to play Alone in the Dark 4, The New Nightmare, and that's one of my most favorite horror games to this day now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking love that game. I love the whole Alone in the Dark series. I have the first two on the 3DO.
You like the whole series? You like the 360 / Wii remake?
No, that never came out. What are you talking about?
You fucking liar.
The series ended with The New Nightmare.
You don't like those badly Hollywood makeup over his jacket damage effects?
You know, Kevin, I don't think this game you're proposing here should be released.
Well,
I'm so glad it was probably canceled in development.
I want to play it specifically on the Wii, though. Like, I want to know how that works.
I do have the Resident Evil remake on the Wii with the motion controls. It's RE Archives. It's actually fun. I quite like it.
Wait, the Archives, the real shooter?
No, Archives is the it's RE remake.
All right.
The rail shooter is like what is that? Colin, you know that
Chronicles.
One. That Chronicles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah, you were talking about that game. You said it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, as long as you're not expecting too much out of the story.
Right. Well, I mean, it is Resident Evil, so.
I mean, it tells the whole story of like, what do I have? Umbrella Chronicles. It goes through Resident Evil 0. It is the story, but
yeah, pretty much just the abridged version, though.
What's your guys' favorite Resident Evil game?
4.
I'd say 4, but I also liked the GameCube remake of the first game. It scared the shit out of me at one point when the Crimson Head popped up.
I love Revelations.
I think
it's hard to navigate.
Let's see. Mine.
I still haven't played 7, so
yeah, I think mine's probably 7, just because I almost pooed myself playing it, so that's got to mean something.
I haven't played it yet, but
I'm not joking. That thing in VR, I had to stop like halfway through, and then I had to pick it up like 2 months later because I almost actually pooed myself playing it.
How do you? Here's a thought, throwing it out there. Why didn't you just play it in not VR after you were done being scared by it?
Kevin, why would I do that? That sounds like playing the game not like a man.
Well, here's the thing. VR is dumb, so there. Fight me.
VR is the future, and I love the future.
Yeah, well, we can be wrong sometimes.
All right, let's. Yeah, it's almost 12:30. So hey, there's our pre-show for all the people that like it. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
All right, here we go. Counting down. Episode 31, I think, right? Yeah.
Shit, I
Yeah,
gotta hit the
31.
record button.
I'm gonna call this spooky horror.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
There sure were a lot of skeletons. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome.
Wait, hold up.
Hold up.
My Audacity didn't put on Blue Snowball. What the fuck's going on here?
All right.
Oh, boo.
Bummer. Boo.
Boo. Boo this man.
I'll start.
Sorry.
Boo this man.
Give me a sec here. Testing.
Yeah, mine's good.
Thump, thump, thump.
Yeah, I forgot you guys.
Let me just restart
that. My bad.
Audacity quickly.
Quick, turn it on and off again.
That's what I'm doing.
I played the Mario death song just for you, Colin, in that
Nice.
that moment.
Why can't we hear the drops? I feel like you're jipping us. I feel like you're actually playing drops that say like Kevin's good, and then like that's it.
Well, you could always re-listen to the episodes, and then you'd hear them.
Look, I give you a free download on every single one of your. Okay.
Excellent. Where's that review on iTunes?
I don't use iTunes. I don't know.
All right. Where's that review on Stitcher?
I don't use Stitcher.
You can still go to them and leave it a review.
That takes so much effort. I
Not
use
on Stitcher. You can do it right on your PC. You don't have to download the app.
I use a thing called Podcast Addict, and it literally pulls them from every source and just puts it in one app.
Pretty cool. A lot of people use Podcast Addict.
Yeah. If it
Colin,
only
we ready
didn't
yet?
bug out.
Just about.
Have you? You gotta turn it on and off again. Why does nobody listen to me?
I just did, and now it's got my Blue Snowball on there. So
Cool.
Okay,
All right.
I'm ready.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome. It's episode 31 of the Red Leaf Retrocast, Retro Gaming Edition. I'm your host, JD. It is the month of October. We are days away from Halloween, which means one thing and one thing only. Something we've kind of done before.
Murder.
Well, I mean, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Sorry.
It is horror games. We're playing spooky horror games, naturally. We've done an episode in the past before, unknown horror games, possibly bad. That was, ages ago, year and a half ago, in the podcast lifetime. So, naturally, it's time to get spooked. And the one who chose this topic was Colin. How you doing?
Yay! I'm doing okay. It's been a pretty busy month for me. I been called up for a couple of interviews for a new position in the airline industry.
Sure. Alrighty. Kevin, you are the other host, the OG host. You've been here since day one.
I am what is known as the rotating chair.
The rotating chair, are you?
I'm
Are you
the
sure about
guest
that?
chair. I'm the guest chair that just keeps getting filled in.
How you doing, Kevin?
I am wonderful. I suck ass at Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, I've noticed that on your streams.
You can eat my ass. I wish you saw the 100,000 times XP I got today, because my mind kind of exploded. And then I beat everything else I've been playing. I beat Spider-Man. That was quick. What was the other thing I beat recently? That pretty much all I'm focused on is Mega Man 11. That was the other thing. That game was real good. But now this is my number one focus, and I'm going to do that until November 1st when my Game of the Month Club starts Psychonauts, and I'm going to see how that is. I feel like it's that game that everyone loves, but nobody played, but I really don't know anyone personally.
I played it. Beat it.
Is it as good as people say, or is it this is overhyped?
I wouldn't say it's overhyped. It's a cult classic type game. It's good. I liked it.
All right.
Guys, for some reason, I'm not getting much volume on my Audacity here.
It's okay. I have the Amplify. Don't worry about it.
You can fix it.
Yeah, it's just barely coming in there.
I have backup audio, don't worry about it. So, spooky horror games is the main theme today. We got some news prior to that, and since we're on the topic of what games we've been playing, I actually play... since one of the games we were playing for the cast got me interested in other horror games, since it is spooky month. I was kind of dabbling in some of the games in my collection.
Okay.
Personally, I was playing Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube, which I have.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not my favorite Resident Evil, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's mechanically okay. God, they're all kind of running together at this point. That's the one where you don't have like an inventory. You have to constantly drop items and stuff right where they are, and then it's a lot of backtracking. Not totally a fan of it personally. And then tested out little Code Veronica. That game's quite good. Probably the last true non-action, I want to say, before Resident Evil 4 came out. I don't know why I always pick up Resident Evil 5. I still have never beaten it, but I always like pick it up from the beginning and just co-op play with someone online. That's always fun.
There's people still playing that online?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
Why not? I think that game gets a bad rap, personally.
Oh, it probably does.
Yeah. I don't think it deserves that.
Are you playing on PS4 or PS3?
PS3, where I have it.
Yeah, people are still online.
Yeah. Well, PSN's still a thing, so why not? And then a lot of games for the Modern Gaming cast that's coming up since it's the end of the month. You know, Mega Man 11. God, I just went through a lot of games because a lot came out this month. Starlink, tested that out.
Oh yeah, how's that? Okay,
average at best.
I heard people losing their shit over it, but like they were mostly saying like, and it's a good Star Fox game, and I'm like,
it's not really.
Yeah, that's the thing is everyone was like, it's a great Star Fox game, and what about the parts that aren't Star Fox? Star Fox. That's pretty much all I got.
I played both the Star Fox version that came out on the Switch, and then the normal version that came out on everything else. Yeah, don't play those. The Star Fox version is the better version just because there's a little Star Fox stuff in it, but really it's like No Man's Sky with Toys to Life, really.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's very bland. It's a very bland game. I didn't play it more than my 2 hours. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, yeah, I'm done with that.
You beat it, or are you just bored of it?
No, it's just too much of a grind. It's not worth it.
I'm gonna play it.
It's just not worth it. Maybe when the game goes down to like $15, which it will probably happen within the year, maybe I'll pick it up then.
Who pays $60 for games?
Jeez, I mean, Origins, I definitely paid $60 for. That was fun. Yeah, it got a little grindy at points, but it wasn't game breaking. Odyssey is game breaking to me. Let's see, Mega Man 11 I beat. That was a lot of fun. I think the music is a bit stock.
Fuck Bounce Man though.
You're just bad at it. So, I think the boss that irritated me the most was definitely the Yellow Devil.
Yeah,
he was kind of annoying. I don't know why. I don't know why he.
Well, the thing is, that game. I like that they made the speed gear thing, but like that game almost relied a little too heavily on like speed gearing.
That was my issue with it. I just kept forgetting to use it.
I never used the power gear. That's the thing. Like I felt like they should have just made speed gear and that's it.
Oh, that was as soon as I like finally got it in my head to use the power gear. Dude, boss battles, power gear, you kill them in like 3 shots.
Yeah, but I feel like if you use the speed gear, you got more hits.
I mean, just one power gear shot and they're toast. Like, it was so Mega Man 11 was pretty fun. Short. It's pretty short. I mean, it is a Mega Man game. Beat it in like 4.5 hours or something, just one time through.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, but that was nice considering that I had a bunch of other games to play. I'm still testing out a lot of stuff in Forza Horizon 4. Got Xbox Game Pass on my PC for the 2-week trial, so I've been messing with that.
Not bad.
I mean, I had people message me on Twitter and DMing me, and as I was streaming, they're like, "Game of the year." I'm like, maybe on Xbox One.
Yeah.
But now Red Dead 2's come out, and that seems to be.
I'm sorry, Spider-Man. Thank you.
Well, that's on PS4. I'm talking like the games that came out on Xbox One this year.
Oh, I was gonna say Monster Hunter World. Got it.
That's definitely up there for me. Yeah, Drew and I talked about a lot of the games that have come out during our mid-year or July episode, the Modern Gaming Cast. Talked about a lot of the games that had come out, and yeah, I think the Game of the Year conversation is going to be fun this year. You gave me a great idea to do the whole Giant Bomb thing of like have an in-depth conversation on why.
Well, yeah, but
each
they
game
have like
should be.
6 people on the board, and eventually they just pick off somebody one by one.
Yeah. Might need
It's
you
really
on that for
worth
Kevin.
Hey, look, I'm not against it, but that's a whole day I got to plan.
Well, we could probably plan it the same day as like a retro cast and just get you on for like another hour or so.
Deal.
Yeah, why not?
Cool.
Let's see. Man. Oh, I did play Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for like 4 hours, just testing out all the modes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's the best multiplayer.
Worst one.
I think that's when it came out.
Worst Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah?
I hate that one. It was so unbalanced. I was like, fuck this. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with Drew about it because I had a lot of questions and issues with what was going on. Like, zombie mode's just horde mode, and Drew's gonna have to defend himself pretty hard on the Modern Cast, but I was not impressed. You know, there was this like makeshift tutorial story mode that they've replaced the whole story single player with. So that's like that's nothing. Right?
Yeah, it's not a story.
Yeah.
But you want to know what that does? That gives them the what's the word I'm looking for? They have an excuse to go online, not required, so they don't have to box.
Let's see. Blackout mode is you know, it's the battle royale. It's basically PUBG but good. That's the best way I can describe it. It's exactly the same, but it's not buggy. It actually looks good, kind of deal. But it just doesn't do anything new. You know, like it doesn't do anything to separate itself. Like Fortnite has the building mechanic. It has the cartoon aesthetic to it. You know, it's like it's its own game. You know what I mean, guys?
Aye.
Gotcha.
But yeah, zombie mode didn't do much for me. Horde modes just don't do much for me in general in gaming. So I was like, all right, I get it. This is okay. Not into it. There was a couple things of story, and apparently if you haven't played like the previous 4 or 3 Blackouts, you won't like totally get it. So I'm like, all right, YouTube video, and I go, okay, it's kind of a story, I guess.
It's not a story.
It's not a $60 game. It really isn't. No. They cut half the game out. It's $30 at best. Is the best.
I feel like they should just sell Blackout on its own, and that would like appease people. Like, just make a good Black Ops, and then just be like, "Here's Blackout if you want it."
Yeah. There was. I saw a few things where, there's DLC locked on the disc.
Oh, good.
Already, yeah. That's scummy.
I'm glad we didn't get out of that.
Let's see. I think it was Zombies and Blackout. They have attires and stuff that are separate from each other, so that screams microtransactions in due time, heavily. Let's see. Multiplayer, I had a lot of questions because you have a level up system, but there's no ranking system like implemented into the game yet, which apparently is normal.
Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't seem right. And apparently a lot of the community complained about when it did have a ranking system before, and that's why it's not there. I'm like, I don't know about that, because I was level 1 and I was already like, there was a couple matches where I was pitted up against a bunch of like level 15 and 20s already.
Oh no.
And I go, great, I have just booted this game up for the first time, and I'm already against people who have played this game for like 4 days straight. That's
why I don't do
fair.
online games anymore. It's the exact reason I don't play things online anymore.
Yeah, I kind of lost interest immediately upon that. So that's just it's just my own personal experience. Drew seems to love the game. He thinks it's the best one ever of all time of Call of Duty. He really likes it, but he's heavily into the multiplayer, which is fair.
Right.
It's fair. You know, as the type of gamer I wasn't totally impressed. I think it's kind of a big Activision scumbag move for a lot of the things that they've pulled in the game, for sure. Right. But yeah, enough about me. Colin, what have you been doing? I went on just a rant there, didn't I? Yeah.
That's fair, but playing a few games on. I've still been playing Iconoclasts. I'm just kind of a completionist that way.
You beat the story yet?
Sorry?
Did you beat the story?
No, not yet.
How many do the bosses get better? Because they were pretty unique when I was playing it.
Yeah, they're pretty enjoyable. There's one where there's like this big circular arena with this big like worm-like drill robot of some kind. You gotta stay between its head and its tail, high speed, and then you gotta do some kind of power-up move to hook onto a power line that'll zip you along, similar to Infamous, where you'd like.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Along power lines.
It does sound cool.
Yeah, I liked quite a bit of that game. It was a little on the easy side, but you know, sometimes you need a nice little relaxing platformer like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I've also off and on been playing a bit of Fortnite when I'm bored.
Yeah, you were talking about that on the pre-show.
Good game.
Which, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Red Leaf Retrocast, you'll be able to hear all that. And don't forget to go to iTunes or Stitcher and leave us a nice little review, because we need them. I need them. I crave them.
Never.
Yeah.
Trying to guilt.
I've only gotten like 7 kills in the 50+ matches I've played.
Oh, wow. Yeah, battle royals are hard as shit. You really gotta grind to get good.
Yeah. I also played all the way through Sin and Punishment on the Wii. That one's really fun.
Oh yeah, have you ever played the N64 Sin and Punishment?
I've not.
Oh man, we might have to do an on-rail shooter episode.
Yeah, that didn't even come out here, so
if there's enough to go around.
You can. Well, before the Wii Virtual Console shut down, you could have gotten it on there, and that's how I got it.
I mean, like, as far as retro on-rail shooters are concerned, I mean, there's the original Sin and Punishment, there's Knife Edge Nose Gunner, both on the N64, but aside from that, I can't think of any others.
Panzer Dragoon.
House of the Dead.
House of the Dead. Yeah, I mean, that's even a light gun, yeah.
Fair enough.
Revolution X.
We'll discuss it at some other point.
Yeah, we might have to think of a bunch more games.
I got dibs on Revolution X.
And I found out in the credits of Sin and Punishment that it was made by Treasure. I was like, that explains a lot.
Yep, Treasure makes solid games. Very solid.
What have they been working on since, like, the N64 era, though?
I think they got bought out by, like, Tecmo or somebody? Koei Tecmo? I think that's who bought them.
Somebody look into that.
Just like Konami bought Hudson Soft.
And they're doing a whole lot with that.
Yeah. Or all those franchises.
Yeah.
Konami used to be such a powerhouse. Oh well.
Konami used to be cool.
And last but not least, I have just been sinking a ton of time into Batman Arkham Knight lately. It's
Good
just
game.
addicted to it.
That's the Batman with the car, right? The Batmobile implemented.
Yeah. And it's really fun. It's like chase down militia vehicles while others try and shoot you along the side, trying to bodyguards, and then you can either sideswipe them or hit them with immobilizer missiles through the very well rendered Gotham City the whole time. The game's like pure eye candy for sure. but it's also really fun to play. It's like they even kind of added an extra challenge element to the actual brawls.
Mm-hmm.
Just like,
That's the game where Batman actually kills people.
no, it isn't.
He runs over people with a vehicle.
Yes, but the vehicle has like special tasers on the side that zap them out of the way and only knock
Good.
them
So now they can have a
unconscious.
broken leg, internal bleeding, and have heart problems. Awesome.
Okay.
You got me there. But yeah, you can do like environmental takedowns in like the hand-to-hand combat as well. Like if you're near, knock a guy's head into it and he just gets electrocuted into unconsciousness and other such things.
No damage, though. Batman doesn't kill.
And I'm glad they managed to get Mark Hamill back as the Joker.
Oh yeah, he did a very good job voice acting him.
For sure. He's
Sure,
pretty
yeah.
much the definitive cartoon Joker.
Why isn't he just the Joker in the movie?
Don't know. Couldn't say.
I just want to see Willem Dafoe be the Joker. That's like my goal in life.
Well, he's already
That
the
would
Green
be-
Goblin, so won't work.
Yeah, fuck that. No, yes it can. Ryan Reynolds did Green Lantern in the Dead, and he makes fun of Green Lantern every chance he gets.
Yeah, I guess that was just a paycheck movie for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with getting a little paycheck every now and again.
Fair enough.
You never know when something could take off.
Not that.
For sure.
All right, Kevin. Besides Octopath or anything else you mentioned, you got anything else?
No.
No.
My buddies wanted to play Legend of Dragoon again, so we've played it 50 times, but that's a thing I'm doing as well.
It's a good cult classic RPG. Sure.
Yeah. Also, side note, I'm not streaming it because some people I just can't have stream with me because they don't know etiquette. But we started Kingdom Hearts 2. Let me tell you, Kingdom Hearts is overrated as fuck. I said it.
Don't worry, Kevin, I'm on your side.
You just made a powerful enemy, my friend.
Look, man, that game makes no sense. The story is whack.
Well, you just got to put in the effort, man.
No,
I know.
And it was awesome.
Look,
Oh,
I
man.
tried looking up the story and like recapping it from when I played the first. Then I didn't understand it, and I looked it up. Still don't understand it.
Have you seen Video Game Donkey's video on trying to get everyone caught up with the story of Kingdom Hearts?
Idea.
Oh god, it's
I have
hilarious.
not.
There's even a bunch of YouTubers going when they're discussing Kingdom Hearts 3 of the ones that don't like the series or have issues with it. They screwed up the story so bad in Kingdom Hearts 2 that every game since has been trying to make sense of it.
I can't argue with that.
The part of me, and like Disney's been tainted for me, external reasons in my life, but like, man, I feel like that game could be a lot better if you didn't have to shoehorn Donald in there. And like, I just feel like if it was just a Square RPG, that would have been just fine.
Yeah,
But
I can't argue with that. I feel like at this point, the Disney stuff is pretty much window dressing.
Yeah, now they're just like
Window
hey,
dressing. I like that. I like that term.
You guys like Toy Story? Here's Toy Story. Oh, cool, Dad. Hey.
Did the mobile game of Kingdom Hearts shut down officially?
No,
It's
it's
a
still
mobile
going.
game?
It's still going? Oh yeah, there's a
What?
mobile game and it's canon.
Oh my God, no wonder this game doesn't make any sense. Pay
All right.
$3.99 to make sense.
All right, we gotta get to the news here.
Do we though?
Yeah, we gotta get to the news. Here we go. I'm playing the drop. Okay, so Red Dead Redemption 2 came out from Rockstar, and it came out with some controversy. So it's causing industry awareness yet again in overworking their employees. So the video game industry is and overworking employees is nothing new, but every time something big comes out, like in the early 2000s with the EA and their multi-million-dollar lawsuit, with basically forcing their employees to work overtime, and if they don't do it, then they just straight up fire them and replace them, and that's pretty much illegal. That is illegal.
Yep.
And it came out again because of how detailed and crazy, intricate Red Dead 2 is, with so much detail in the game. For example, the social media thing that came out was that, you know, the horse testicles will shrink in cold weather kind of deal, and that kind of stuff pretty much doesn't need to be in the game, and yet it takes hours and hours and hours just to get that stuff down, and all the code, etc. So the employees often feel frightened for their jobs to even speak out about this stuff. And that, you know, I'm not saying that the video game industry isn't the only culprit in this. I mean, I worked in the offshore oil industry where, you know, you're basically forced to work 16 to... I've seen people do 48 hours straight shifts out there.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, it gets real bad. Like, I've fallen asleep at the desk because I'm, like, so sleep deprived. And they're like, well, if you can't hang, then we'll have you on a chopper the next day kind of thing. And...
Oh, man.
if you speak out, well then, okay, you won't go, you're basically blacklisted from that company on the rig kind of deal.
That is shitty.
Yeah, and when Halliburton got caught by the DOJ, for example, lots of employees got a lot of back pay because of that kind of shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
True justice.
Yep. Yeah, the Department of Justice had to get involved. So, you know, I have a personal conflict and understanding of, you know, what being overworked is, being afraid to speak out kind of deal. It's part of a culture of the industry for sure.
Yeah.
So,
oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I have some quotes here on the agenda. I believe I got this from Polygon, and I don't know where they took it. They described a working environment where overtime was expected, where not being in the office late factored into performance reviews and questions from their superiors, where many employees felt watched. And it goes on with quotes along those lines. And yeah, I mean, I've been there myself with certain jobs for sure. Colin, you've even worked in the oil industry. You work in the airfield industry. I'm sure there's similar factors.
Actually, it's pretty much the opposite, because they actually have strict regulations in place as to how long at least the pilots should be worked and how much rest they should be given. Because if the pilots are overworked and not sufficiently rested, that's actually a major safety risk, because for whatever causes lapses in judgment, and those lapses in judgment can get a lot of people killed. So they have to be very careful about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I wish those regulations were. Well, I mean, they are sort of in place, but the culture doesn't go by them, and that's what the video game industry pretty much is. And they call it crunch time specifically. Yeah. Where, you know, the closer a game is coming out to release, they go through crunch time, where you start working, you know, 80 to 100 hour work weeks. I mean, we spoke about, I believe on the last cast, with Telltale going down, and they expected employees along those lines. And Rockstar themselves responded with industry keywords and phrases that are being coined around. And I found this Activision was saying the same thing. EA, for example, they coined it dedication or passion of their workers, and they care about, you know, creating using their creativity. And, you know, not to say that there aren't employees out there that love their job so much that they're willing to do that, but I guarantee that a lot of people are just not. They're afraid to speak out. And I believe Rockstar had a term in place where employees couldn't speak out on social media about, you know, the game or how they're working on it or what they're working with. So they couldn't, they basically were banned on social media for saying anything for a long time.
Right.
So how do you guys feel about this in general, now that we've kind of gone over the facts here and what's been coming out?
I would rather a game get delayed for later, as opposed to these people like dying at their desk for, obviously I'm being a little
I agree.
exaggerating, but I don't care when a game comes out. As long as it comes out, it's good. If they came out and said, hey, we're going to delay the game a little bit, things just aren't ready, got to polish it, I would have been fine with that. I got enough to play.
Yeah.
Like, I get that they're gotta get it out for holiday. I feel like we're kind of past that point where you can release a game at any time and people will be like, all right, I'm in. I just feel like we're past that,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like if the companies weren't in such a rush to get their games out, they could and took their time a little more, they could actually create better games, because if their employees are rested, then their quality of work will be much better.
Oh yeah, there are tons of studies out there that prove that overwork produces less. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nobody or not enough people seem, at least in the higher up positions of a lot of companies, don't seem to about or don't care enough about mental health. Now, I feel nowadays that's starting to change a little. Like, mental health is becoming more and more of a national social issue. But
at least in North America, for sure. I think Canada's a little bit ahead of the game on the United States on many issues. I mean, you guys just passed weed, like last week?
Parts, please.
No, weed's nationally legal in Canada now.
It's been legalized.
Yeah, officially. So good for you guys. But yeah, like when I was in Canada, my working conditions were tremendously better. I was, in fact, phone called when I was starting to overwork by like even a couple hours a week. They're like, no, stop.
Oh yeah.
And that did affect how my American bosses started looking at the situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Japan is pretty behind the curve.
Japan's extremely behind the times, but Europe is way ahead of the curve on a lot of issues. So especially mental health, I noticed. Some countries are a little behind. Eastern Europe in particular.
Poland is, as we saw with I think it was CD Projekt Red. They don't have as many restrictions on how long they can work their employees per week.
That's right. That did come out as well. That's why they're in Poland. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Kevin. Just, if the game's got to be delayed, it's got to be delayed. Like, whatever.
Like, do you think there's not going to be a lot, probably 1,000 families who aren't going to buy Monster Hunter? It came out in January, not December. Like, they're going to see it on the shelf if they want it. They want it,
Well, I mean, we did see it. It came out in January, and it sold the piss out of everything. It was sold out everywhere.
It's literally the best-selling Capcom game of all time.
Yeah, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, like people tend to like. It's not like how it was in the 90s. When does the game come out? I don't know. Oh, look, game out. Buy now. Like, people know when these things are coming out. They're gonna be like, all right, I'm safe.
Oh yeah, more often than not. Back in the day, I would only know a game's coming out by like a magazine, or the one time I went to the game store, once a month, be like, okay, anything new out? I don't know. Oh my god, a new Twisted Metal count? When did that come out? 6 months ago. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Mom, I know what I want for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, now I feel like people do more research on games, watching their streamers, seeing if they like the game, see if it looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if a game comes out in the middle of summer when nothing else comes out, like, you add a better shot.
Yeah. No, things are timed accordingly now. A lot of games seem to come out in October nowadays, though.
Well, that's because they're trying to hit the holiday. Like, they're trying to get it out there a little before Black Friday, get the buzz around it, get a couple sales. Oh, Black Friday hits. What? It's $20 off. Oh, what convenient timing. We didn't plan that at all. Bye.
Yeah, it's kind of why I haven't really bought any of the October games. Personally, I'm like, well, I can wait 30 days.
I'll get Red Dead when I get Red Dead.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're all on the same mind. It's definitely. I don't think it's a tricky topic at all. People are saying it's an issue. I go, no, it's a culture issue. The culture needs to change. Period.
What does suck, not suck, but It's just funny how the founders of Rockstar, Dan, whatever his name is, Haddon, whatever, they never talk to the press, and the one time they talk to the press, they're like, God damn it! This is why we don't talk to the press, asshole!
Yeah, well, they were bragging about the quote-unquote passion and dedication of their employees to work 100-hour weeks.
I'm very passionate about.
I was like, okay, they can be passionate. Go up to them and go the fuck home.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about not being fired. So
right, yeah, I like my job. All right,
I like eating.
Okay, so this one, all right, that was kind of the big news. PS4 name change update is next. That's coming in 2019. However, supposedly it's coming with possible negatives such as losing save data and losing even purchases on the PlayStation Network. These purchases range from in-game currency to outright DLC.
Yep.
But not the games themselves, so I'm cool. Right.
The DLC part kind of scares me for sure. So, and then the first name change will be free, and anything after that will run about $10. Give or take whatever currency you're in. So in Canada and Australia, it's going to be more. In the Europe, it's going to be like $9. So whatever. Yeah, it's not totally confirmed. That was kind of in the testing. So hopefully it'll be fixed before it actually launches, and then we'll see. Cool. I hope to change my name personally. I've had that PSN name for fucking since the start. So due for a change.
If it means losing my shit, yeah, I'm not gonna risk losing my stuff for this.
Yeah, yeah. If that's a risk, it's not worth it to me. I mean, it's just a name at the end of the day. It's not it's not like my name is Cocksucker23 or something.
Then who did I add?
Okay. Xbox Game Pass will eventually be fully available on PC rather than the current limited Play Anywhere.
That's cool. That.
So if you have a PC,
why does the Xbox exist again?
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, then why am I gonna buy? Why would I ever buy an Xbox? Because they're putting all their games on Game Pass anyways at this point.
Why does Xbox exist? I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm just being serious. Like, make Xbox a service, and like leave it at that.
I think that's what they're transitioning into slowly but surely.
They definitely are, but I'm just like, just bite the bullet. Just be like, we here at Xbox are X service or whatever, like
Xbox service. That's what it'll be called eventually, I'm sure.
Not because like there's no box. Like I feel like that'd be like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird to be called.
It's like Red Leaf. It's a brand, you know.
Oh, you were a brand now. Oh,
yeah,
big shot.
We are a brand. Well, there's fucking 4 podcasts of it, so yeah. And this was the most interesting one that I came across, and I did have a link from a Polygon article in the agenda here. Intellivision plans to come back with a new console called the Amico in 2020.
I thought we were done talking about Coleco Chameleons.
Oh man. Well, there's the Atari one that's coming out, and now Intellivision's coming out with one. And it's official in 2020, supposedly. Every game is said to be exclusive to the platform and cost less than $8 with no DLC or in-app purchases.
You telling me I can't get DLC for B-17 Bomber?
Well, yeah. It's going to have a lot of like the original Intellivision games, a few Atari games. There was a list in the Polygon article. So
it's every game's exclusive as we get Atari games for our exclusive Intellivision.
Their kind of mission was they want games parents want to buy rather than what their kids want, which seems kind of opposite to what the industry is.
Have you heard of the Switch?
I don't know. This screams Ouya to me.
Yeah. I'm actually interested to see where it goes, if only because it's Tommy Tallarico at the helm here. Because he's a huge name. And
yeah, but like he's a music guy. Like I guess maybe I don't know his portfolio enough. Every time I see that, like, what does he do in this scenario other than I make video game music?
He's a visionary. He loves the video game industry enough to make video games live. So I
mean, I guess, yeah. But like I don't know.
I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic.
I want. Yeah, well, they're not coming out to like what 2020. They said.
Yeah. So the mission can change once they realize maybe this isn't going to work. But the one I was definitely behind was it comes with 2 controllers and it has like a touchpad and 2 buttons, kind of mimicking the dial of the old Intellivision controller, which is kind of weird. But even if you don't have the controllers, you can download an app on your smartphone, and that would be the controller of the game.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
so that's kind of next gen, moving along. But then that also brings up the question with me, like the iPhone or Android touchpad on the screen, which I would not be behind at all.
Yeah.
Personally, I know Kevin, you have a pretty strong opinion about that little iPhone touchpad type stuff.
I fucking hate touchscreens. I want to get rid of them all. I hate touchscreens. That thing was fire. We should go back to Resistance.
Pretty interesting to say the least over what's happening in the industry and where everything's going. I haven't heard anything on Atari's end over their thing that's coming out. So.
Oh yeah, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, that's supposed to be spring next year, and it's approaching quick.
Yeah, that thing's definitely real, and it's totally coming out.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm pretty sour on it.
I just don't know anyone that like Atari's got a name, I guess, because like at least you've seen the name on boxes of other games, like even if they just published them. But like,
sure.
Who the hell cares about Intellivision? Wasn't that like the 3rd place runner in like the generation of video games they cared about?
I think it was 3rd place.
Yeah,
it was right behind Coleco.
Like I get people like ColecoVision because like, oh, who the hell was like, yeah, man, the Intellivision.
I mean, I was at a bar in where was that? I was in a bar in New Brunswick. And they had a ColecoVision and Intellivision with a bunch of arcades that you could play. I was like, all right, hey man, grab a beer. We're going to play some fucking Intellivision. We're playing like a baseball game and trying to figure out the controls.
Where's the Fairchild Channel F classic? I need that coming back. That's the one everyone's been looking for.
I mean, there are some fun games definitely on the Intellivision, for sure. I mean, it would be nice if the console was successful. That would be cool.
Well, yeah. Sure. I mean, I don't want anyone to fail, but if you're going to make dumb ideas.
Yeah, I think this every game will cost less than $8 kind of thing. That kind of scares me in that little mission statement. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, everything's downloadable too. There's no physical games.
No.
That's what I heard last.
It was if you want to buy physical, it would come from the developer itself.
Right, so
that would be like $20 to $30, it seems.
Ain't nobody doing that.
So
I gotta mail this. I'll download it.
I don't know. I think developers would like to do that, like a limited run type thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, if the games are gonna be $8, they're gonna be. I heard they're all like 2D. Like, there's not really gonna be much 3D gaming on it.
So, well, no, it's a 2D only platformer or 2D only game.
How long can they take to download? Like, you're gonna wait 2 weeks in the mail for a fucking Intellivision game? Like, I don't see it happening.
Oh, I mean,
so which means they're gonna be giant on the resale market. I'm all over this shit.
It has potential, like anything else. We'll see if it executes at the end of the day. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to our theme. Right quick.
Yeah,
and I got a new drop just for today. Hooray!
What's the drop? Oh wait, I'm there for this.
Okay, and that was the Castlevania drop. Hooray!
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Spider-Man.
So, Colin, take us into our spooky horror games.
First game on the list is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the PS1. although also for the Dreamcast and GameCube, it seems. This was developed and published by Capcom and released in September 22nd of 1999.
Damn right.
September or December?
September.
Old.
Okay.
Ported later to the Dreamcast and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed this one. It's one I've been meaning to play for a really long time.
Me too, actually. This is like one of the few Resident Evil games I haven't played.
Yeah. I just know a lot of people. It's a big standout for a lot of people because of Nemesis himself. He's just such an unstoppable force.
He's an asshole.
I would say similar to Pyramid Head, but I feel like Nemesis is more directly involved in your actions than Pyramid Head was.
Oh, that is a good comparison.
Pyramid Head just kind of stalks you, whereas Nemesis actively tries to kill you.
And he's very left-handed.
Constantly carrying a rocket launcher. And knows only one word. Stars.
Stars.
Now, the game stars Jill Valentine from the first game. And very different from how she was in the first game, where she was in full uniform, but here got a much nicer outfit.
Yeah, she's got a sexy blue tube top on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote that in the notes, by the way. Thanks for clarifying.
Well, yeah. I mean, how could I not put that in there? It's very noticeable. Kevin, is very noticeable when you're a woman in a zombie-ridden city and she's carrying herself around in a miniskirt and a tube top.
I'm sorry, she doesn't want to be objectified by what she's wearing. Okay.
Oh no, she still kicks ass. That's for sure.
She's a strong, independent woman.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, right.
She's got polygons for days.
Who wore it better? Who got it better, Lara Croft PS1 or Jill Valentine?
Ooh.
Lara Croft had a tank top. This is a full-on tube top.
Let's just talk about the triangle titties.
Now, may I just say this game has kind of a pretentious opening.
Okay, go on.
It's just Jill rambling on about how no one stood up to Umbrella and are now reaping the rewards and blah-de-blah-de-blah. Can we get to killing zombies now?
You know, now that you bring it up, didn't nobody know about Umbrella until like the fourth game or something?
Until the third game, apparently.
It's like Raccoon City is owned by Umbrella, but nobody knew how truly corrupt they were until the zombie outbreak in there, starting in Resident Evil 2.
Right. So it wasn't until at least no one in the canon of, or the characters of 3 knew Umbrella was causing anything.
Yeah, because this is like right after the first game in the timeline and takes place around the same time as Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, it was like congruent days, like this was the day before, and then when you get like halfway through, a day passed, so you were kind of splitting the days in between 2 and 3. I don't know. This is definitely where the story gets really convoluted and weird.
Yeah. Although this game is more action oriented, as you said in the agenda.
Yeah.
It has kind of the same play style as the first 2 games, but more fast paced and zombies and solving puzzles.
Yeah, it's extremely. I noticed that was the thing that stood out to me immediately was you have that run mechanic, and then you have a dodge mechanic to go with it, because also the zombies move like 3 times faster than all the other games. So you can't do the whole Resident Evil Cheez-It where you conserve your inventory items by running around the zombies, you know, as opposed to in this one where it kind of wants you to kill them throughout the game. But then you still have that issue with running out of ammo a lot of the time, so you have to pick and choose what enemies you want to kill. So it's kind of that's the learning process I had to go through, at least.
Yeah, I think you were playing on hard mode, because I played on easy just to like get through it more quickly, but I feel like it was a bit too easy.
I was still kind of struggling on easy mode. I didn't play it on hard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to go through the game. I think on easy mode, it has I believe it randomizes the zombies and the damage they do. Because I noticed sometimes if a zombie bit me, I would be totally fine, and then other times I would take like 2 hits and then be immediately in the caution. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't play on hard mode, so I don't know if that carries over. It's just something I noticed. Maybe it goes with the easy mode.
I just remember starting off with pretty much all the guns. It was like the shotgun, the handgun, the magnum.
No, you just get those early. You just get those early in this game.
I remember the very first storage thing that I came across next to the save typewriter had all those guns and their ammo in it.
Oh.
That seems a little cheap.
Maybe I did pick hard mode then. Oh. No, because I found the shotgun like in an alley or some shit. Like at the start of the game.
I remember...
So playing on easy is like a necessity then?
It seems that way.
Yeah, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
Even on easy mode, Nemesis is a major force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, I didn't try to fight him. I tried to fight him the first time and I died like 4 times in a row easily.
Yeah.
Just having a tough time dodging him. He's got that sprint attack that I'm like, fuck, how do you dodge that?
can't even get your gun up in time to shoot him.
No, so after the 4th try, I just went, you know what, I gotta go in. And that's a cool thing in the game, because it has that like black and white filter going, and it makes you pick and choose to fight him or not, and apparently that affects the ending of the game, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember being scared when Nemesis busts into the police station after you barricade him out. And then when he starts chasing you at such high speed, it gets even more intense. I mean, seriously, Usain Bolt got nothing on Nemesis.
Yeah, wasn't it I think it was the 3rd encounter with him when he starts shooting the rocket launcher at you, and I was like, what was that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember taking it to the face and then be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was running away from him, and all of a sudden this like missile goes right by me and hits the wall. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I turn around, he just blasts me in the face too. It was like, oh, he has a rocket launcher. Okay, noted.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to stay the hell away from him.
What'd you guys think of the gunpowder system? Because it featured an ammunition creation system with the gunpowder. You have gunpowder A, B, and C, and different combinations will give you different types of ammunition. Whether it,
the only thing I needed in my Resident Evil.
Yeah,
I mean, do something similar to like the herb combining mechanic.
Yeah, but that was simple. Like that was like green, yellow, got it, and then like I don't need more complexity in my Resident Evil. Those puzzles are already like up the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, the puzzles suck then. They still suck now. They're kind of weird, you know. It's a Resident Evil puzzle. They're not as bad as Silent Hill, that's for sure. I noticed that about this game. Yeah. The Silent Hill ones are so cryptic and ridiculous. This is just go get a gem. Okay, go get the other gem. Go put it in the slot. All right. So they're not like totally convoluted in this one, but they're just kind of irritating and don't make sense. It's just a puzzle for the sake of a puzzle to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you think about RE3 here?
I really get lost on Resident Evil. They kind of lose my interest if I don't. I will say I didn't give it the time of day. I don't want to do this right now. I just played 2, and I'm like, I don't like the controls. I don't like these. Like, I feel like I need to play all the old Resident Evil guide.
They did switch the controls up in this one a little bit.
Yeah, but like it was just.
Compared to 2.
They don't age well for me. I'm like, whatever, I get it. Game's okay, I guess.
I love pre-rendered background games.
It's not that. Like the graphically, I think it's fine. I think it looks creepy. It's just like, I just want to play a better game.
Ugh.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it doesn't age well.
I thought it aged pretty good. I mean, the pre-rendered background games usually age pretty well. I mean, not sure why they kept the tank controls in this game, other than because it's Resident Evil still. It seemed like the type of game that could have used without it. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What else did I want to say? The music set a good little atmosphere, for sure. Especially when Nemesis would show up, the little rock type music would kick immediately.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tight.
I like the map system. Even though the game did feel pretty linear.
About the same. It's I think I remember one moment in like the lighter fluid from like the bar or some such thing, and then got the lighter later. You wouldn't be able to combine it into said lighter to holding a door closed.
Yeah.
But that was pretty close together, so I don't think it would have been a huge hassle to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really like Nemesis. He is a force to be reckoned with. He's got to be one of the coolest game antagonists I've ever experienced, for sure. He's definitely going to be up there.
He's cool looking.
Yeah, he's. I love his design.
Yeah, badass. And he was pretty cool even in the Resident Evil Apocalypse movie.
The movies are pretty cheesy for the most part, but they definitely made Nemesis pretty cool. If you go into those movies and just expect total cheese, then I think you can enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
They do get pretty ridiculous in the story, just like the Resident Evil games. So,
no argument there.
Yeah. All right. Well, the game's really cheap. You can get it on the PlayStation for $10. You can get the ports, which are
also good luck finding that GameCube one. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. It's hard, but it's still like $20.
Yeah, I remember as a kid always seeing it on the shelf at Blockbuster and kind of waffling between whether or not I wanted to rent it or not.
Yeah. I mean, I've been putting off getting this game and playing this game for just decades. Yeah, so covering it on the podcast was pretty cool. I finally spent the $10. It was well worth it. I definitely I think I played about half the game, and I'm definitely gonna finish it. It definitely got really hard around that halfway point. I got stuck pretty bad. So, all right, it gets a pass from me. Colin?
Yeah, I give it a pass too.
Kevin?
Meh.
Mr. I don't like games.
No, it's not that. Like, I've said it before when we talked about horror. I like the concept of horror games. I really do. But the problem is they all are just slow and like unnecessary puzzles instead of just being scary. Like, puzzles don't equal scary. Like, just a side tangent. I'm playing The Evil Within. Dad, just
slow. It's funny. A lot of people like The Evil Within, and that's one of the ones I don't like.
Well, the thing is about that. I think
it's just so action oriented. Next game, Colin. Another one you picked here.
Next game is developed and published by Human Entertainment.
Human Entertainment.
Why are you all saying it like that?
1995, and released on the Super Famicom exclusively in Japan. Point and click adventure through a spooky mansion.
Is a spooky mansion.
This game sets its horror atmosphere up really well from the beginning. Basically, you are. Is her name Jennifer?
Her name is Jennifer, Orphan Jennifer, as I was calling her. I did stream, I streamed me playing this game from start to finish and learning everything, and then I had to beat it off screen because I went to bowling.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I was like, fuck! I got totally stuck at a point in the game where Jennifer just kept dying. There was no way to save her, so I had to restart the whole game from the beginning.
That is awful.
Well, I mean, once you figure everything out and what you need to do in the different orders, you can beat the game in an hour.
Oh.
So it wasn't.
That's true.
Yeah, as soon as I got back from bowling, I was like, all right, I think this is exactly what I need to do. I just popped it in, I played it an hour, and I beat it. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the opening menu has a really good horror atmosphere. It starts with a clock striking 12 in the dark background, and then you hear it chime twice, and then with each successive chime, a letter of the title appears and continues until the whole title is there. And that, I felt, was very chilling in a good way.
Yeah, I like that as well.
Yeah. Of course, one thing is that this game does require a lot of patience because your character moves pretty slowly.
Oh, you can make it run.
Consume stamina.
Does.
She does not run fast.
Need it if you unexpectedly run into the main villain, the Scissor Man.
Bobby.
No unstoppable enemy constantly stalking you characters like Pyramid Head or Nemesis or SAX from Metroid Fusion.
That's actually, yeah, that's true.
And I really like the music in this game. It's like it feels very horror-esque, especially when you unexpectedly run into the Scissor Man. It's like you gotta run like hell, and then find a place to hide. And then even when he's off screen, you'll hear with him just like opening and closing his giant pair of scissors the whole time. You're like, where is he? Where is he? Run!
Yeah, there's certain places and rooms he just pops in, and you have to be ready for him. Basically, any room you go in, you have to go in with the expectation he's just gonna pop up out of nowhere.
I was gonna say pretty much every room he comes up in.
No, actually, he only comes up in like 4 rooms in the game, and it's a large mansion that you go through.
Why did it feel like every room had a potential for him?
Because the game makes you feel like he's gonna pop up like that.
I felt like that mansion's just smaller than what they make it seem like, maybe.
It does loop to make like okay. When you're first going through the mansion, it feels big for sure. But as soon as you unlock a few doors, then you unlock shortcuts, and then the mansion gets really small in that feeling because then you know where everything is. It's a pretty cool little loop mechanic that they got going there.
Yeah.
Program trickery.
Yeah.
And there were a few moments that really genuinely scared the crap out of me. Like there's this one mirror in like the bedroom. I mean, I saw you playing JD, and for whatever reason, Jennifer just flips her hair. But when I played it and examined the mirror, a hand pops out and strangles you.
Nice.
And then you fall down dead.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
Get the scary music strike, and I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of instances in the game by whatever order you do certain things in, different things will happen. So, for example, there's a secret room that you find, and if you let's see if I can get this if I can remember this correctly. My first time finding the room, there was nothing in it at all, right? And I go, that can't be right. You know, why would a secret room have nothing in it? And as it turns out, if you don't trigger one of your friends being thrown out the window, or you hear a scream, and you choose not to look out the window, that will trigger the secret room to having a. And I found this out later when I beat the game the proper way. Then that secret room will have Jennifer's father's corpse inside it with a note.
Oh shit!
And there's writing on the wall in blood. When I got to that part the first time through, because I tried to tomfoolery the game essentially, where I went straight outside. And that's when you see one of Jennifer's orphan friends get thrown out the window and land in the pool, and she watches her drown in front of her, and then Scissor Man just pops up from the pool. And I was like, oh shit. So the game kind of knew that you were trying to cheese it, you know, trying to get to this point early. and that caused that later secret room to have nothing in it, and if you miss that, then that triggers Jennifer to not distrust the owner of the mansion. So when I got to the end of the game, the owner, she doesn't have evidence to distrust the owner of the mansion or anything. She just thinks spooky shit's happening and there's a scissor guy. So she goes up to her and she's like, "Save me!" And then she gets stabbed in the back.
Oh,
and she
shit.
dies. And that's how that playthrough ends, because then you're stuck. Because if you go in the elevator and you want to go to the third floor of the clock tower, you can't exit the elevator. Scissor Man just kills you in the elevator every time. So there's no escaping that point. So I had to replay it, and that's how that went down. So there's a lot of things like that happen in the game, which are really cool. Two things that I never figured out what to do in the game was there was a rope. Never figured out how to use that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that's for exactly. And then there was a shiny object in the library that was kind of in the wall. Never figured out how to get that. That was there's a few things in the game I couldn't figure out. But how far did you get in this Colin? Because yeah, it did take a little while to get going, and then once I figured out like where each room was, then the game just starts flying by, because then you start figuring it out.
Yeah, I didn't get very far in it because on my it was only the Japanese version, so I kept having to go back and forth, see what the English translation said.
Oh.
So I didn't have really much time to really go in depth with the game.
Okay. Yeah, I went the extra mile and got a translation cart myself for $20, which was nice.
Yeah. I probably could have found like a translated version to play online at some point.
Oh, sure.
I didn't time in the night, but enjoyed what I got. I mean, fantastic. They're very detailed, very well done. Character animations convey a lot, and of course, given it's like point and click adventure, fixed camera, that's pretty easy to do. Not a lot of things happening on screen at one time.
Right.
A really good sound design. It's like most of the time there's no music. It's just your own footsteps.
Yeah, it reminded me of D, which we played on the Unknown Possibly Terrible Horror Games episode.
Yeah.
In that sense.
It reminded me, because that also had very little music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the only music I believe that came up was at the end of the game or whenever Scissor Man would show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first time playthrough, the only hiding place I ever found was the bedroom. So anytime he came up, I had to run all the way back to the bedroom.
That's
yeah.
Yeah. When I was playing the hour through, I looked up. I had to look it up. I go, there's got to be other places, so you can like push a bookshelf over. There was a lot of places where they were one-time only escapes, but hiding underneath the bed, as long as you cover the parrot with the sheets, so he won't like let Scissor Man know that you're there. That's always the go-to place.
Oh yeah. The only hiding place I knew about was on the second floor, where you like climb over, it's either a cabinet or a locker thing, climb over that and hide behind that, and then Scissor Man comes in, looks around, then turns around and looks again, and then
where you get the black cloak.
I'm not sure about getting that object, but
yeah, you get the black cloak from behind the bookshelf in the attic or whatever it was, in the storage room. That's what it was, the storage room.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got, it's your typical horror thing where you're in a mansion and then you discover the dark secrets of the mansion and you go in the basement and there's all the dark secret stuff.
Yeah. Yep, Resident Evil did that too.
Yeah, a lot of horror things do that, so
yeah, I'm sensing patterns.
Yeah, I give this one a pass.
I definitely pass this one as well. Even if it wasn't point-and-click adventure, you would just be moving left and right anyways, and just going up the things. So it didn't feel like a point-and-click adventure.
Yeah,
Truly.
Disagree.
Huh.
That's why I didn't like it.
You said you also said you played it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I did, because I was like, why is like this ruined it for me? Now, question: does anyone know if it's Super Nintendo mouse compatible?
Oh, I don't know. That's worth looking up. I'll do that.
I might be able to play it that way and like bear with it, but fuck, man.
That's funny. I have a Super Nintendo mouse. I didn't try that. Is Clock Tower?
Because that would actually make the game like somewhat like a deal, I guess. But I don't have one. Compatible.
Compatible. Oh, there we go. Someone else has asked the question back in 2011.
But they got no answers. They're like, "What are you playing this for?" Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. Give me the good news, Jade. Jade is your short for JD. It is now.
List of compatible games.
Son of a bitch.
Nope.
Is it only gonna really? Oh,
bummer. Lemmings is.
This game's bad. Game's bad now.
Huh.
Although I never felt like that would have been cool if that was compatible. But anyways, the game is expensive. It goes for about $40. There's a PlayStation kind of remastered port of the Famicom version. The Famicom version is $40. But yeah, I recommend a translation cart. Etsy or eBay or what have you. They go for about $20. So it gets a definite pass for me. I love the hell out of this game. Now I'm very curious about Clock Tower 2, because that's the only Clock Tower I haven't played at this point now. Because I have a funny love for Clock Tower 3, as cheesy as it is. It did scare the shit out of me and my friends in junior high.
I'll tell you, Clock Tower 2, a little cheesy as well. Just a wee bit.
I remember reading it in I think it was a PlayStation Underground magazine I had. I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
Let me tell you, just look at the cover and you'll know everything you need to know about Clock Tower.
So, all right. My turn for the two picks. My two picks.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, the first one, I went a little offshoot. It is called Master of Darkness for the Sega Master System. As I'm about to sneeze. Oh. It was developed by Sims, an offshoot company of Sega, published by Sega. It came out in the EU, in Europe, in May 1993. Yes, it is a Europe exclusive. But it will work on your, like many European-only releases, it will work on your North American Sega Master System if you have one.
Mm-hmm.
Just some sound cues are off every now and again. Not a big deal. Because it's made for PAL TVs. Alright, so it's a side-scrolling action platformer exactly like Castlevania.
Hell yeah, it is.
Almost down to the music.
This game is Castlevania.
This is Sega's Castlevania, like 100%.
Segavania.
Segavania.
NES meets Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the NES.
Well, I mean, yeah, it does have a Sherlock Holmes type character. It has a cane as kind of a weapon.
Yeah. But it had a bunch of weapons.
But yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of weapons interchangeable. That was a big thing in the game. It has a Dracula kind of story where Dr. Ferdinand Social is your main character, and he investigates murders happening in London, and he finds out that Jack the Ripper is using these murders and bodies as sacrificial offerings to an evil scientist count named Mason.
See, I'm happy he just knew, like, oh, people, obviously. I don't know who he is. What do you got?
Well, he's done the investigation stuffs. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA playing with his Ouija board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was funny. He got everything from a Ouija board, which was so 90s.
Who trusts this guy? This guy on the Ouija board says, it's definitely, this is not a good sign, guys.
The Ouija board saying that mansion place is evil and be careful because Jack the Ripper and Dracula stuff. It's like, all right.
Yeah, we should trust him.
But yeah, if you've played Castlevania, it's a left to right platformer. It's got some up and down movements on stairs, going screen to screen. You know, you got your bat enemies, your skeleton enemies, and what have you. I really...
Your HUD is the same.
Excuse me, Kevin?
The HUD is even the same.
Yeah. Yeah, really, yeah, it is. You go through 5 levels. I believe there's or 5 stages, and you have like 3 levels to each stage. I believe they call them rounds in this game.
Oh, that's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I found the so the game takes you to 5 areas, each ending with a boss battle. You have Jack the Ripper. You have a House of Wax spirit possessed by like a skull of some shit. Go through a cemetery, an evil lab, and then you are teleported to Dracula's labyrinth in Transylvania, which I found pretty funny. You just get teleported. I did beat this game. It's very easy. I did find it very easy. So it's a easy version of Castlevania. Yeah, there's no knockback damage, so that was very nice. And there's a lot of frequent health pickups you find significantly easily throughout the game. I found the first 2 levels very linear, while the third one is a mix between the linear and kind of a Metroidvania thing where you gotta find your way out through like a labyrinth, and then 4 and 5 require finding a dumb secret exit, which I had to look up while I was playing it. Yeah. That was probably my most hated part in the game, was I was like, where the fuck do I go? And I'm just hitting walls, and I look it up, I was like, oh, it was that wall over there, that you didn't really know where to go. You gotta kind of fudge the game, so I didn't like that at all. That was a big negative in that sense. I did like the interchanging weapons. You know, you have a melee weapon where that can upgrade, and then you have a projectile weapon, you know, be it a bomb, a boomerang, or like a drill spike or something, which you get very late in the game, and that was cool. That's powerful as fuck. But as I learned, it's not like Ghouls and Ghosts, where get the knife is like your primary thing. If you get the knife in this game, you're basically fucked, because that thing is shitty. It has no range, and it does like no damage.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's the best weapon.
God damn.
Best weapon, 10 out of 10.
But I never had any issue with any other weapon other than the knife. So avoid the knife at all costs, and then everything else seemed to work. The axe was very powerful, but I had kind of a limited range, so I didn't really use that too often. I just kept switching between the cane and the you get like a rapier sword, which kind of just pokes straight out. So it was basically just those two. What'd you guys think of this sucker?
After you, Colin.
Fuck you. Did not like this one.
I love it.
Just wasn't it was just boring. It's like there's not much variety to the enemies, not much to sink your teeth into as far as environments and story. It's basically just Castlevania. It's just, I don't know. I didn't get past the second stage on this one. I just energy for it.
No, that's fair.
Bats were the most annoying part of the game. They fly around in circles, have unpredictable patterns, and are really hard to hit.
Oh, you didn't even get to like the giant hawk eagles on level 4. Those sucked dick. They do so much damage, and they're hard to hit too. At least the bats were fairly easy to hit. You just use, you know, a boomerang or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the hawk eagle things, they suck. They were later. They're huge too. You still can't hit those fuckers.
Oh yeah. And as far as the game's opening is concerned, full moon, the vampires come out. It's like, no, it's werewolves that come out on the full moon. Vampires can come out any like they want. What the hell were the writers smoking?
There's no lore when it comes to horror. Let's be real.
Oh, no,
Sometimes zombies
I
are
guess.
super strong. Sometimes zombies can't even open a door. So
That's right.
Fucking lift semi-trucks.
And sometimes vampires don't burn up in the sunlight.
Sometimes, yeah.
So,
Right.
say, sometimes Blade is cool. Sometimes now, like,
Well, what'd you think of this, Kevin?
this was like one of the games I liked because it wasn't slow. It wasn't boring to me, at least. I get how you can see it was, but like, it was just Castlevania. That's all it was. I honestly just had a, and when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is like if Castlevania 1 specifically had a side story. Because it was kind of archaic in some way. But
I really liked the House of Wax level. I thought that was cool.
I didn't get that far because I died. But tell me about
It's level
it.
2.
Yeah, I know what I said.
Yeah, the House
It's
of
fun.
Wax level is pretty cool because you had a bunch of wax figures in there, and they would come to life as you walk past them, and you'd trigger them. They'd come at you. There was moving spirited chairs and tables that would come at you. That was cool. What got weird, and this is where I definitely agree with you, Colin, where the enemy variety totally lacked in the game. When you get to like level almost at the end of level 3 and 4, the wax figures come out, and I go, they don't belong here.
Yeah.
And then you notice that the only ones that come to life were the same wax figures. It was always the female bride kind of character. You're like, all right, she'll come to life. I'm ready for her. That's why the game got real easy. Like, there was no variety to that. The backgrounds of the level were okay. Again, I think the House of Wax like definitely stood out because everything made sense there. And then, I mean, the backgrounds of each level did make sense. There just wasn't. It didn't look unique enough. Everything looked too blocky a lot of the time.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So I think it was a lot of missed opportunities. I wonder if this game was rushed.
Possibly.
I feel like they were trying to like
Yeah.
do something with NES and like kind of put out something like Castlevania's popular. Guys, I got something right here. And note to what you said. You said this was not a release in North America.
Correct.
You're fucking wrong. Because it's
Well, it
on
came
the
out
Game
on the
Gear.
Game Gear, but it's a much
And
different
it's-
game.
Dude, it's the same game.
Not really. It has a lot of the
played
same parts of it. I think it
I
came out like
played
a year later too, didn't it?
I played it. It was good.
It's a lot more. I can imagine it being a lot more cramped on the screen for sure.
It definitely is. I actually played on 3DS too. So
Okay.
it's good enough. I recommend playing that one because I don't know. I thought the game was serviceable. How's that for a word?
It's good. I think this is a good game to have for your Master System collection for sure. And it runs about $25 depending on where you get it. I mean, I've seen it go as high as $60 at times. But for like a $20, $30 game, I'd say yeah, go for it. So,
I disagree. Fail.
ooh,
Colin, goddamn it!
Colin no like.
Hey, you don't
Alright.
like Kingdom Hearts 2, so now we're even.
I don't like Kingdom Hearts. Period.
Well, more so. All the better.
Oh god. All right. So my second pick was Fatal Frame on the PS2. It also came out on the
yeah.
Xbox, also known as Project Zero in Europe, which was the working title, an original title for the game, but they ended up changing it. So, developed and published by Tecmo, came out in Japan December 13th, 2001, North America March 4th, 2002, Europe August 30th, 2002. So, one of the newer games on our list for sure. Game was actually a commercial failure in Japan, while a raging success in the rest of the world. And
That's weird.
Interesting.
and then the developers and reviewers say it was probably attributed to The Ring, because it came out pretty much around that same time. And there's a lot of, I could definitely see a lot of comparisons to that. for sure.
That actually really reminds me of the game 999. That was a flop in Japan, but everywhere else it was a major success.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Sure. Because it only sold like 22,000 units in Japan, and then just like millions upon millions in the rest of the world. And usually these games are the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think this sort of game would be a huge success in Japan.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I found that kind of interesting. So, the game has a heavy concept on atmosphere and color. You know, a lot of black, white, and red going on in the game.
Yeah.
It's set within an abandoned Japanese mansion, divided into... Yep, naturally, right? Just like Clock Tower. It's divided into 4 chapters and a prologue, which acts as like a tutorial level, respectively. That one goes by pretty quick, within like 10 minutes. And the chapters are super fucking long. Like, each chapter will take you like an hour and a half to 2 hours. You'll get about 7-8 hours out of the game easily with those chapters. Each level is rendered in real time instead of using pre-rendered backgrounds. So big system upgrade using this PS2. You can definitely see that immediately.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of this game is you're this small little Japanese girl, schoolgirl, who has kind of this psychic power where she can sort of kind of see ghosts and touch items and kind of see its past. And the game starts out where you're this brother, and he goes to this mansion and walking around, and he's got a camera, and the camera when you look through the camera, you can see ghosts. And if you take a picture of the ghosts with the camera, you hurt them, and they'll eventually like kill them and make their spirit pass on. And these ghosts are generally hostile. They'll try and kill you, or at least attack you. Give you nice big hugs. Basically, that's what it looks like. And the ghost disappears, and the sister goes to find him at the mansion that he left a note for. And she does find the camera on the ground, sees that her brother was kind of taken and missing, don't know what happened to him. And this whole first chapter is, as far as I could tell, these chapters are based off of old Japanese like folklore legends. So this first one, for example, focused around the rope-tied woman. So it's like this sacrificial offering where a woman will get tied up with ropes, and then she'll be strangled and whatnot, kind of like a stigmata type thing going on, but with ropes.
Weird. And
you basically just go around this mansion the whole time, trying to open doors, and you keep looping around, and you're stalked by ghosts in certain rooms, and you use the camera, and god damn, the atmosphere just scares the piss out of me the whole time.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you walk down a hallway, then all of a sudden you hear, you're like, fuck, what was that? Where'd it go? And then sometimes it may be nothing, and then other times you'll see a ghost like go in the corner of a room. You're just like, is that a hostile one? Is it a good one? Sometimes you'll see a ghost that's just like pointing at something, and then you're just like, okay, do I trust you?
I'll go where it's pointing. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? And like, the game will hint at you with certain items. Like, you have film that you can pick up, and certain films stronger than others. So I attributed it to getting such as shotgun shells and rocket launcher shells, but with camera film, because that's your ammo. So before I keep going on, what did you guys think of Fatal Frame?
I really liked it. Like you said, JD, the horror atmosphere is done very well. Like, I remember times when you're close to like a secret or something, you can actually feel like a heartbeat in your controller vibration, which was a very good touch.
Yeah, it's the character's sixth sense. That's what they called it.
Yeah. And on top of that, it'll show you, it'll say there's either a spiritual secret nearby or if there's a hostile ghost nearby. It has tank controls, but they're much easier to use here than in Fear Effect.
Oh yeah, that's a good example for sure. I think that has a lot to do with the whole real-time aspect of the game being on the PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like like with Clock Tower, there's little to no music most of the time. It's just your footsteps. Most
Yeah, it just makes me fucking uncomfortable the whole time because there's just, well, the music is more like this eerie kind of spooky, what do they call it? Like white noise sounds the whole time.
Yeah, like ambience.
Yeah, ambient. It's like an ambient sound throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I actually do find it the mechanic of with a camera to be a really interesting mechanic because I think I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this, but I think it has to do with a superstition that a camera, when it captures your image, will steal your soul.
Yes.
I can't remember where I heard that.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
So,
yeah, a lot of like
was...
Native American tribes and when the camera was first coming out, a lot of people thought that because they didn't understand the technology, etc., etc. Yeah.
Well, it also goes back to like if you watch any ghost hunting show, take pictures, the flash will go off and they see some kind of apparition, and then when they look at the picture, they'll be like, "Oh, look, there's the spirit.
Right?
Why is it flipping us off?"
Oh, that's funny.
So,
like I said, really enjoyed this one. The graphics are really good. Character designs are really cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, the character designs were early PS2 type stuff for sure. Like elongated fingers to the point of comic proportions.
Yeah, that's true.
That was funny. The voice acting was absolutely atrocious in this game, though.
Love it. 10 out of 10. What you talking about?
Wow.
Troy Baker's best work.
Jesus. I mean, you want to talk about bland... Like, I thought they were just computer-made voices, just... And my brother went into the mansion. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. It's like, bravo. Oh my god. 10 out of 10 right there.
Screen Actors Guild.
How distressed I am.
I am so scared. Like, it's so bad.
Love it. 10 out of 10. Best game.
I didn't like the creepy children showing up in rooms every now and again.
The Ring.
The little well, they would like crawl on the ground and then disappear through walls and always show up behind you. So you're like, God damn it! And then they'd have that creepy child laugh type shit, and just like, God, get away!
Coming for you.
Or one of the hostile ghosts saying, "Help me! Help me!"
Oh, just nonsense.
Because sometimes the ghosts will speak to you, saying all these cryptic things.
Yeah, there's no one here.
I want to leave. I want to leave.
Like, yeah, I bet you do. We want to take my soul first, though.
So that actually, that dialogue. If any of you played Deadly Premonition,
no, but I'd be interested to play it. I know it's got a real cult following because like the voice acting sucks, the graphics sucks, but apparently the writing is really clever.
Yeah, so one of the creepy things that this game reminded me of is like the zombies in that game, like they it almost like they were trying to be cryptic, but it was just normal speech. So like it'd just be like, I don't want to die. I'm like, oh geez, fuck. That's more scary than the fact that like you could have hit it, and like those ghosts like reminded me of that in this game.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't want to kill you, I guess. Bye. It was really creepy.
One cool little mechanic that they did throw in the game, because the game is super dark, overly dark at times, but you can use the analog stick to maneuver the flashlight in the character's hands to go to like different quarters of the rooms and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot like Silent Hill with its flashlights.
Yes.
Although, just kind of clipped it onto your chest of your coat, and then it would just point wherever you were facing. But in this case, you actually had it in your hand.
Yeah, really spooky game. I went through 2 different play sessions of this. I think I got almost... did I get to the end? Because I died a few times just because the camera mechanic, the ghosts would always tend to move too fast. rather than how my character could actually move the camera and snap the picture within the frame. That's what kept killing me the most. So I definitely struggled with that a bit. And that tends to be a common complaint with the game.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, I was definitely scared throughout the experience. I mean, Fatal Frame 2 to this day is like one of the scariest games I've ever played. Oh, yeah. And it was good. It was good seeing that this one. It's always good to see when you go play the first one that it wasn't like a broken mess or they hadn't figured anything out yet. The atmosphere here was definitely the big positive of this game. That's if the atmosphere wasn't as good as what it was, the game would not be really all that great.
Absolutely. So yeah, I give it a pass.
Oh, it gets an easy pass from me. Kevin?
It's a good.
Yeah. All right. Kevin, on to your 2 picks.
That was a drop. This is where it gets fuck up in here. We played Splatterhouse for the PlayStation 3. Ignore what he said. Graphics, it's not real. I played on PS3.
I have the TurboGrafx 16 game.
Well, not all of us have money pits lying around.
Okay.
Side-scrolling beat-em-up game takes place with Rick Taylor in the, say it with me, everybody, West Mansion. Good. Wait, what the hell did you write here? Whom was resurrected by the Terror Man? Makes him look like Jason Voorhees from the... Yeah, there was a lot of influence from a lot of horror movies going on. Your girlfriend, say it with me, Jennifer.
Go figure.
I know, right? She's captured inside the mansion. Gotta go rescue her. It's weird to see a horror beat-em-up game, which makes Splatterhouse alone a unique game in itself.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But the thing that really did it for me is that the sprite work, while big, beautiful, really limited like the gameplay space. If you play anything like Final Fight or Streets of Rage, where you can kind of move all. I mean, I feel like Rick's sprite was so big.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really didn't have, it was more like, I guess the fun of beat 'em ups to me is like getting somebody in a corner. You can really work around it, but I felt like it was just like move right, punch, 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 move right, punch, punch, punch. Like I feel like I could have used a lot more freedom in this game to move, but overall, super solid beat 'em up. I wish I wasn't bad at video games so I can get up farther in it.
No, this one was pretty hard.
Yeah, I've seen the ending before, but I've never done it myself. But the whole game is just fucking fun, man.
Oh yeah.
Don't play it on TurboGrafx though.
Yeah, it was developed and published by Namco, so I'm wondering if they would eventually make another one, even though it came out like for a game that came out in 1990. This was amazing.
Yeah, it's weird that they did this one on Turbo and then the other two on Genesis.
Well, the Turbo was done by that time.
Damn right it was.
Yeah, this was originally an arcade game, so I think
True.
The TurboGrafx game was the only console version, at least that I know of.
Well, at the time that it came out.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. I haven't played any of the sequels. Have you guys?
They're more or less the same, honestly.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're any easier.
No.
The first Splatterhouse game I ever played was Splatterhouse 2 on the Genesis at a friend's house. I was probably 7 years old at the time.
Mm.
I wanted to play Streets of Rage because my friend and his brother had been playing it another time that I had come over. But I didn't know what it was called, so I tried to describe it to them, and my friend was like, Splatterhouse? Okay, let's do that one.
So this is not an adult film, trust me.
I actually do remember being kind of disturbed by it, mostly due to like the monster designs, the music, and the gore.
Oh yeah, this is a pretty grotesque game. Like, that much is immediate. Between like bodies being hung, there's like things puking, worms and melting corpses after you hit them. And there was quite a few things that were censored in the game. Like I looked it up where a meat cleaver was supposed to be one of the main melee weapons, but it was replaced with just a 2x4.
religious symbols. A lot of religious symbols were censored in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mask color,
It was changed to purple.
red.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
they wanted to keep it from looking too much like the Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, they
Hosky
can
man.
pretend all they want.
We know your secrets, Namco.
Yeah, when you get a guy in a onesie work suit and wearing a mask, we know who it is.
Yeah.
The only difference is he's super jacked in this game.
It's Michael Myers.
Yeah. There's actually a really on the box cover of the TurboGrafx game. It says the horrifying theme of this game may be inappropriate for young children. ... and cowards.
Right. That's funny.
Well, now that's how you get kids to play. Like, I'm not a coward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I played this game for probably a couple hours and I just could not get past the enemy boss with the bag over his head with the 2 chainsaw for arms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that guy was a pain.
I thought I had something going with getting 2 of the shotguns for the boss battle, but by the time I would run out of ammo, drop the weapon, and then go to pick up the second gun, because there's a gun shortly before that screen to fight him, and if you can kind of pick it up and move it slightly, you can get the second gun. But I couldn't pick up the second gun in time until the chainsaw guy would kill me, because you have like 6 hearts for health, and he just quick succession just takes damage away from you. It's like shit.
Yeah, the way I managed to get past him was he hits you, and then while you're in that short invincibility time, just hammer on the punch button, and then you'll manage to get a bunch of hits in.
I tried that. I guess I wasn't like hitting them properly.
Get good.
Ha.
Well, how far did you get, Kevin?
Shut up.
You got stuck in the sewer, didn't you?
Yeah, actually.
I beat it, but only because I save stated the hell out of it.
Oh, you
That's
cheater!
No, that's the American way. I'm proud of you, boy.
All right,
Just
so
wanted
well,
to see the entire thing.
I want to. Okay, well, what's the ending like? Do you save Jennifer?
No. You kill
It just-
Jennifer.
The ending in this is actually really unsatisfying. After you beat the final boss, you see the terror mask break apart, and then a shot of the mansion burning while the credits roll, and then the word "end" appears. There's no shot of Rick or Jennifer walking away or anything.
Wait a minute. Yo, that's after you. Never mind. Okay.
Well, what happens to Jennifer?
You kill her.
Yeah.
Why would you kill her?
She's one of the boss fights. She like just mutates into this huge monstrosity, and you have to destroy it.
She essentially is like help me, Rick, and then after, first of all, help me, Rick, in a terrifying, garbly, like barely 16-bit voice.
Yeah.
Or,
oh, that's pretty cool.
And then like as she's like mutating, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill you now. See ya. Like.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I like that. I wish I got that far. That's pretty cool.
Now, the arcade version ending of this is definitely better because it shows Rick standing outside the mansion as it burns, as well as showing like the terror mask breaking apart, and then the screen goes black, and then the terror mask reforms and laughs evilly.
Ooh. Hence the sequels.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing that always annoyed me about the terror mask in the Splatterhouse games and the Personas in Persona 3 and 4, now that I think about it, is that there any tangible long-term downside to using their power. I mean, sure, for the terror mask, you can hear him like tempting Rick into being like a violent psychopath.
Sure.
As far as like Persona is concerned, there's no away at your life force, no contract promising the wielder's soul to Satan or some such thing, and not even much in the way of the wielders being corrupted over time, aside from what I said about the temptations of the mask. But I read plot summaries of a lot of the Splatterhouse games, and they don't really mention such downsides.
No.
And I only bring it up because I feel like if that were the case, especially in Persona, it could give some real weight to the proceedings. We could feel for the characters more. I mean, you wouldn't see it in something like Mario or Kirby because those are meant to be lighthearted, but Splatterhouse Persona are more serious.
Kirby gets the terror mask on. Make that happen.
Yoshi's just sitting there like, come on, Mario. Well, actually, Mario's been corrupted by the Firefly. Those bricks were big at one point in time. So Mario's just been going around crushing them, man.
I think my one big negative to this is when you get hit, you drop whatever weapon you have immediately.
Oh yeah,
That was kind of annoying.
I really didn't like that. That's why I'm wondering if in the sequels they got rid of that little mechanic, because that would have been a very good just quality of life improvement for the game for sure.
Yeah, I think they did in the second game. I can't quite remember clearly.
As much as the punching was quick, it just didn't have the range that was the major downfall for sure.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if the punching had the range, and then maybe the hit detection was a little bit better on that part, that maybe the game just wouldn't be that just grotesquely hard.
Ah, yeah. I remember the boss fights being fun, aside from, say, the chainsaw guy. Like, the stage 2 boss fight was a big standout for me because you're fighting against a poltergeist that keeps flinging objects at you. You have to knock them out of the air before they hit you. Candles and bottles that fall from the overhead chandelier that you have to avoid. And then there's a bouncing chair you have to hit over and over to break. And then there's flying knives you have to punch out of the air. Try figuring that out.
Well, it's okay. He's got the power of the Terror Mask. He's not afraid.
Yes, that makes sense. Good.
Like a painting that flies around and you have to hit till it breaks. And then some kind of wispy spirit flies out the window. And unless you're standing off to the side, the chandelier will drop right onto you, which seems like a bit of a fuck you to the player.
Gotta avoid those chandeliers.
Yeah.
So the game gets a pass from me. It goes about $50 on the TurboGrafx. I think you can find some for like 30 to 40 on a good day on eBay.
Copy.
Well, how much does the PS3 copy go for? Because that's all three games, right?
The new Splatterhouse is like $10, and then I think you have to beat the game. Kid, go do it.
There you go.
I have the new Splatterhouse on Xbox 360, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. I will say I heard the game is like okay, but you know.
Well, I mean, if you get the other three, then it seems worth it.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to beat it.
Okay, well then beat it. Big deal.
Yeah, stop being lazy, kid.
All right, well let's get to our last game then. Splatterhouse gets a pass from me.
Sweet home.
Pass from me too.
It's pretty good.
All right.
Kevin, last game.
I'm introducing it. Welcome everybody to the thing that made Resident Evil happen. Sweet Home for the Famicom, developed and published by Capcom. Like I said before, it is literally the game that inspired the Resident Evil series. Yeah. It's an RPG, very Metroidvania style, exploration, storytelling methods. It's actually a licensed horror game. I forgot to tell you this, Shady. There's a movie called Sweet Home in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just game for this. Essentially, you're going around say it with me, everybody, spooky mansion. Good. And you're kind of going around fighting zombies. The big thing in this game is there's permadeath. So,
yeah, I found that out the hard way.
Yeah. So as you're running around this mansion trying to escape, do what you got to do, you can carry 1 or 2 people with. I think it was one other person.
2 to 3.
Oh, it was 2 to 3. Yeah, essentially you go around.
It's a party of two or three people max.
But you really have to manage, because if they die, that's a person short, and you're fucked.
Yeah.
I found having
you're not totally fucked, but it makes the game 1,000 times harder if you have even one character die.
Great, so totally fucked.
Yeah. Luckily, the game has a save feature, so you can just reload.
That is true. It was very useful.
Yeah.
I used the hell out of that.
I like this game. I'm bad at games. It's really fucking hard, but it's really good. This ironically I find more fun than Resident Evil.
I found myself really into this. The game at the start, like the first, I want to say, hour you play this game, it's really hard. Because you need to figure everything out. Your characters are very weak. don't have the items to even fight anything. It's like bats and worms can go fuck themselves in this game. Every time I saw them, I'm like, oh no, I might die.
The most vicious of creatures, worms.
Yeah, or maggots in some translations.
Oh, fucking maggots. Very good game. Love it. It's just, it's very cryptic, I will say. Like, that's one thing you carried over from me. I didn't know where to go.
Well, you find the notes lying around the levels, and they tell you where to go.
Right, but, like, getting there was a whole different issue. Perspective-wise, I mean, I don't know how... Sort of. Without it being top-down, I don't really know how...
Well, like, one note would say... You need the generator, which is east, and then you would go east, you go into a couple rooms.
Yeah, east.
Don't really know where to go, and then you find a room that said it's actually north of here. You go, oh, okay, cool, so it's in that room. It's like it's always the last place you check.
Well, yeah, but like, what a descriptive place. Oh, east? All right, cool.
Well, it said east of here, and there was like 3 rooms to choose from.
I didn't feel like I had enough description to carry on.
Yeah, I was more confused with the controls at the beginning of the game.
Why? What was your issue?
I was like, what the hell do I do? All right, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? How do I pick up a fucking item? Why can't I pick up this item up? Oh, it has to be in the last slot on this one thing, but only certain characters can hold this item. Because I'm a guy, only guys can carry the axes, while the women can carry the spears. And
that's sexist.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, why? The item thing was the most confusing at first, but it's an item puzzle. It's like an item puzzle game with the RPG to it. The whole game is the inventory management, and then going from one place to another with using the items that you find to either unlock a room or a puzzle in the room. Yeah, so it was confusing at first, but once I figured out the menu system on how everything worked, then it just started to flow. Like I said, that first hour was incredibly difficult because the game is a little bit hard with your underlevel characters. You don't have the weapons yet, and you're still trying to figure out like how all the mechanics work in the game, how the party system works, how you can, if you're in the middle of a battle, you can actually call your other party members over to help in the battle, so you can have all 5 together at once, which I found incredibly useful for just destroying enemies at times. So the game was incredibly deep, and with no explanation in the game on how anything worked, that's what made it so confusing. So you definitely need that manual or look up a guide or the start of the game.
Oh, this is a guide required game. I don't know how you can
at least at the start.
I don't know. I needed it for the whole thing.
Pick up on a lot of it for the first hour or so. Maybe it's just because I'm big into RPGs and puzzle games. But its gameplay is very similar to Mother 1, aka Earthbound Beginnings.
Yeah, with the first-person battle system.
Yeah, and the top-down with the top-down perspective with the characters following you. Yeah, visibly instead of like merging into one sprite.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed that the sprites kind of got in the way on the screen of certain things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had to switch between the parties because you're like, oh great, now I kind of block this door because now I can't go through it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I liked about this game is that each character has an item that's crucial to progression.
That was cool.
One has a lighter for like burning rope away. Another has a key. I guess it's a skeleton key since it seems to open all the locked doors.
Right.
Another has a first aid kit for healing in battle or just getting rid of like status.
Yeah, it was just used for status effects. The only way you could heal your party was through the tonic that you find throughout the game.
Yeah, I like how that character with the first aid kit is literally dressed like a nurse, completely with a white hat with a red cross on it. That was really funny.
It's Halloween. They're just dressing up.
And another has a vacuum for getting rid of broken glass on the floor.
And dust on paintings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
How annoying do you think it must have been to carry a vacuum every enemy where you are at?
Yeah, maybe it was a dustbuster.
Well, there were certain enemies that you could also use the items on that could do like bigger damage, which was incredibly useful at the start of the game. Like I found out the camera affected the bats for like 20 damage. Yeah.
They're blind though. How?
Well, I think that's the point. Because they're blind, then you shock their, I don't know, retinas or whatever. I don't know.
They don't.
That's actually a myth, by the way. Bats actually have excellent vision.
There you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, there you go, Kevin.
Shut up, Judy.
You're learning things today.
Goddamn nerds knowing everything.
But yeah, one of the mechanics that I found useful in battle was the prey mechanic, because do that right, because it's got a little meter that goes up and down, up and down. If you get it like max, if you max it out by timing your button press right, then you can do a lot of damage, and that can get you a lot of experience early on.
Yeah, I didn't find that out until quite a bit later in the game, how to use the prey mechanic correctly. That reminded me of Undertale quite a bit, actually, in some of that battle sequences.
True.
It's actually also, like you said about before, that's a mechanic in Earthbound, isn't it? Like prey.
Is it?
Yeah, you pray in some battles.
In the final boss of Earthbound.
Well, you can do it in the final boss. You have to do it in the final boss to. Nothing tells you in that game. But like, it'll you'll get health back, or you'll get some like NP back, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's literally the only way to damage the final boss.
Yeah, I had no idea what to do. I actually think I hit pray as in like, well, I'm fucked. Might as well pray. Like,
I did find a pretty useful cheat in the game. So,
how dare you?
So if you're in the middle of a battle and you call the rest of the party over to join the battle, and then you use a tonic water, it actually heals all 5 members of your party.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's cool.
And then the other one was, if you you know how sometimes you would use a wooden plank to cross gaps throughout the mansion, and then sometimes it would break if you say had a group of 3 and had them cross it, and on the second time it would break, right? Yeah. Well, if you have a party of 2, then you get like an extra couple steps over that plank of wood. Mm-hmm. Before someone would fall through. And this game has an interesting use of QuickTime events. I think it's the earliest use I've come across in video games that have the QTEs.
Yeah.
So you'd have a person fall through the floor, the wood plank breaks, and if you have a rope, you can pull the person up. But the cheat, one cheat I found is you can just say, join my party again, and you pull them up that way. So you don't even have to have the rope.
I thought that was the only way to do it.
No, you can just say, join my party again, you pull them up.
No, I mean the join my party thing being the only way
to
say.
No, you can use the rope, and that'll get them as well.
Huh, never realized that.
Yeah.
But there's another QuickTime event mechanic where sometimes a lamp or a chandelier will fall to react, go left or right, and then if you do nothing, then whoosh, you take damage.
Yeah, it's not a lot of damage though, but it really affects you at the start of the game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, left, right, or duck. I kind of liked some of the puzzles in the game. Like the first one that you really come across is the statue with a spear. And you have to pray to the statue in order to take the spear correctly, otherwise you'll take a ton of damage. And then put that spear into another statue, and that'll unlock the next area. So, very simple puzzles. You know what to do, but you have to kind of... I mean, there's so much emphasis on inventory management in this game. That's where a lot of that kind of difficulty goes through. It gets you to backtrack and take items at certain times. You can definitely see a lot of the Resident Evil vibes in this game, be it that aspect, and the when you open a new door for the first time, it focuses it on the door and you hear the creaking. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Master of unlocking.
Yeah. Yeah, I got way into this game, much more than I thought I would. And there's a lot of grotesque things in this game. Like, there's one enemy that was just barfing blood. The half destroyed bodies of zombies crawling on the ground at you in that first person battle view. Skeletons with like their clothes ripped off and they're yelling at you, "Rah! Beware of the chandeliers."
Oh yeah.
What else? I'd found myself like panicking in certain rooms that would do certain things. Like there was the instance where the boulder just, like, you could see something happening. You're like, oh, if I take this item, the boulder will come down, and you're kind of in this panic to get across the plank woods and praying they wouldn't break on you, kind of deal. There was one room where all of a sudden the whole room would be on fire, and you're like, shit, I don't have the fire extinguisher in this party. Fuck. You just take another ton of damage. Damn it.
Oh jeez. Yeah, I don't think I got that far myself, but that sounds really cool.
Yeah. I got about halfway through this game before I was like, oh my god, I gotta play other games for the podcast. Yeah. But apparently it takes like 9 hours to complete, which is quite nice.
Right.
It's not totally bad.
Definitely longer than the average game I'd expect for the NES.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more intricate and in-depth games for the system. I got a translation card for about $10, so totally worth it, in my opinion. Ooh. Well worth the price.
I also like the cover art. It's just creepy.
Well, yeah, it's one of the 5 filmmakers that go to the mansion, just like screaming on the cover or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Famicom game is like $30. So if you don't want a translation repro cart, you can go that route.
You not know what you're doing.
Yeah, there's that as well. There's a lot of emphasis on dialogue and text in the game. So
yeah, I'll admit overall it's not as scary as the other ones like Fatal Frame or Clock Tower, but it was still very competently executed.
Yeah, especially for the NES. It's definitely one of the quote unquote scarier spooky games out there for it. What else? Is that all I wanted to say?
Game's okay.
I thought the music was pretty cool for this too.
Yeah, it was decent.
It was creepy.
I think it set the mood. It definitely got the story going. How dare you come into my mansion? You will die. I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to die.
Well, you're gonna fucking die now, kid. Ah, shit. Okay.
I had to look up what frescoes were, because I didn't understand what the game was telling me at first. I'm like, what the fuck is a fresco? And I just type it in. It's like an old French painting. It's like, oh,
fresco soda.
That's fresca.
Oh.
But yeah, frescoes are like old French paintings, and so I'm like, oh, okay. So it wants me to take pictures of the paintings. I thought it was another term for spirit. So I was trying to take pictures of the spirits. Like, fuck, they weren't doing anything. So after I looked it up, I'm like, oh, the paintings. And then the paintings have fucking clues. Basically, tell me what to do. How'd you guys react when a spirit took a party member? Because that freaked me out. I was like, no! Does that mean the character's dead?
Remember, I was like, oh shit, where'd he go? And then I'd explore and be like, oh, there he is. Just kind of take him out of the room.
He was spirited away to another room.
Yeah.
I thought he died, because I had died a couple times before that in the game, and I was like, oh, shit. Start over.
Yeah, I thought maybe the character died too, but nope, just taken to a different location.
Yeah. I really like this game. It's definitely... it was a big surprise for me, for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Kevin?
Good pick, Kevin.
Game's okay. I mean, obviously, it's not my cup of tea, but I can get into it if I really gave it the time of day. I would need someone playing it with, but I like it.
I thought the RPG system was executed pretty good, too.
Yeah. I just really like the fact that there was like a NES game. Like, they didn't really do that. It was like game over. That's it,
Yeah. Yeah. The shit, when you had a character die, that screen of the character like bloody on the wall.
Oh, really?
With its back. Oh, yeah. was like, shit, that was grotesque.
Any of my characters die in my playthrough, but then again, I didn't play very long. But
I streamed the first like hour and a half of me trying to figure the game out, and I had characters die a lot at the start of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cause fucking bats, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You can't run away from them. I tried. There was one time I got stuck in the doorway and the bats just kept attacking me and killed my whole party.
Don't you love that? 10 out of 10. Great game design.
There wasn't a game on this list I didn't enjoy. This was quite fun.
It's okay. Splatterhouse wins 10 out of 10.
All right, Kevin, you go first. Favorite and least favorite.
Splatterhouse favorite, least favorite, fucking Clock Tower.
Yeah, just because point and click.
I don't like point and clicks. I'm sorry. Don't ask me questions you know the answers to.
Oh, Colin.
First favorite, Fatal Frame.
Ooh.
Or least favorite.
Did you say Master of Darkness?
Yes.
Okay, you cut out there. You went dark. Oh my god. I'm so torn in favorite. I think my least favorite is probably Master of Darkness, just because that felt like the weakest out of the bunch.
Yay.
That doesn't mean I didn't like it. I just think it was the weakest out of the group of 6 here.
Boo this man.
God, favorite. I'm so torn between Sweet Home and Clock Tower, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fatal Frame scared the piss out of me. That was definitely the scariest game on the list, for sure.
Oh yeah, I played all of these games in the dark, by the way.
Well, yeah, was that a requirement?
Yeah, absolutely, it's a requirement. I think I'm gonna go with Clock Tower because of all the different endings.
Cool.
I think that was the factor. I mean, the fact that you can start the game off, go immediately to the car and leave, and then have Scissorman show up in the backseat was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty funny. I was like, oh, car keys, get in the car. I wonder if I can just get out of here. That was fun. And then seeing her die in like 6 other different ways.
So you just like watching women die?
Well, at least that one.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Well, Jennifer died a lot out of these games here, apparently.
What a coincidence. Who picked Clock Tower?
Colin did.
Oh, I was gonna say if you picked it, interesting.
No.
Like
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Clock Tower. I think that was one of the more original games that I've played in quite some time. It was fun, and I'm a sucker for point and clicks.
Ah yeah.
They tend to tell the better stories generally.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's where a lot of its strength is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So a lot of different opinions here. Cool stuff.
Only one person's right. You tell us in the comments.
Yeah. So just to run down the 6 games we played for our spooky horror is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Clock Tower on the Famicom, Super Famicom, Master Darkness on the Master System, Fatal Frame on the PS2 and Xbox, Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16, and Sweet Home on the Famicom. Pretty cool stuff there. Fun episode. This was super great. And I have decided on what the theme is for episode 32 coming out. You ready?
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
It is going to be the strange and weird games.
That is super specific.
Okay.
Yeah, so just like for example, like Oddworld, that franchise is pretty strange and weird. So probably expect an Oddworld game.
Spoiler.
As a spoiler. Yeah. And then after that's Kevin's pick, and we're doing a little spoiler there. We're doing games you got. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Okay. We'll save that for the next episode.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, and that's games you got for Christmas as a kid.
Oh.
Because the holiday season will be upon us during that recording.
I like the sound of that.
Christmas.
So this was episode 31, Spooky Horror Games. of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at BowlingJD, Red Leaf Retrocast. As we're quickly approaching 2 years of the podcast and 100 episodes overall. Pretty fun stuff.
Yay.
Yeah.
Get us on iTunes and Stitcher for some reviews. We definitely need more of those. And subscribe to the YouTube page and Red Leaf Retrocast for live streaming of games and whatever that we feel like doing. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
thank you, and see you in the next one, guys.
Bob Dole.
Be careful when you fall asleep tonight. You never know what might be behind the door.
It was me. I was behind the door.
Good stuff. 2 hours. Look at that, Kevin.
Good, I was fucking starving.
Yeah, I'm getting I'm pretty hungry myself.
Oh my god. I'm exporting and uploading immediately so I can just fucking eat.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to turn up the volume on my recording, JD.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah, I had that issue with Blue Snowballs. Like I felt like I had to be so close. And then once I got the Yeti, I feel like I could.
Yeah, but my Blue Snowball's never done this before. I've never had this problem with Audacity.
It could be the cord. I mean, they take like a normal printer cord, so like
Possibly.
try swapping it out and see what happens. Because I did that with mine. It seemed a little better. It could have been my. It's better now.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. You guys can hear me just fine on Discord, but for whatever reason, Audacity you can barely pick anything up.
I can
maybe
hear you.
try.
Oh, there's the slider on the left of Audacity. You can.
Yeah, but that's like at 100% for input volume.
I don't know then.
Oh,
Turn it
well.
off, turn it on.
Yeah.
That does solve everything.
Also, quick note, JD, I actually hit record right after your first 3, 2, 1 countdown, but so I didn't hit it exactly when you said go, so just like chop the first 4 seconds off.
That's fine. That's easy to figure out.
Alright.
So I just listened to your